And go.
Welcome back to whoever's listening. Yeah, I like the scatting.
Now we're gonna get sued.
Those
guys had one hit, and they're like, "This is my moment. He's doing my song."
Wait, what? They had lots of hits.
Did they?
Who is they?
The Jackson 5, you know, like Michael Jackson.
Oh,
that was my.
Is that who you were trying to impersonate?
Why did I think somebody else other than Michael Jackson did this song?
Oh, see, no, now I hear it. Now, yes, no, now we're definitely getting sued.
Oh,
okay. There it is.
Also, what is this? What is this called? What is our podcast called?
We're gonna do Oceanside Tomfoolery.
Well, at least we're by the ocean.
To mess with Chris.
Oceanside Tomfoolery. Awesome.
I used to be by an ocean, but now I've moved to a place where the ocean is occupied by Mexico.
No, we're now on the oceany shores of Mesa, Arizona.
The deserty, oceany shores.
You can see an ocean shark.
The ocean sharks. Yep.
Look, a seagull.
Sand sharks.
Look, a seagull.
Squawk.
No, wait, that's just the sun.
That's just more sun. Okay, well, I guess today we're going to talk about Ghostbusters. They're ready to believe you.
Cult classic.
Not really. I think it's just a classic. I'm pretty sure Ghostbuster is full-on just classic.
Classic.
So what's the difference between a classic movie and a cult classic movie, then?
A cult classic movie is like, there's just a very fine little niche of people who like the movie.
Well, usually a cult classic is, it doesn't do well at the box office, but later it gets like a really strong following. But, you know, Ghostbusters had a relatively low budget of like, 20-30 million. And then they made like a lot back. They made more than that back.
So this is what I've learned from this first 45 seconds of this podcast. I've been using that word wrong my entire life.
There you go.
There we
Something
go.
Like,
new things all the time.
What would be
Here's some
like that?
trivia for you. That's how we start this show off.
Trivia, I think that I have, but only sometimes. But I actually have them now.
And Eric is wrong.
It's a working name. I'm pretty sure it's going to change every
Firefly. Firefly is probably a cult classic. Got canceled,
Definitely.
but very, very strong following.
Something I haven't seen yet, but I'm actually very excited to see.
We'll
get you there. Maybe we'll do that. Take a break from Buffy.
It's like the only canceled TV show to ever get a movie.
Oh, no, Marissa wants to do Doctor Who. Okay. Very much wants to get through that.
Okay.
And yes,
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters had such a strong beginning, I thought. Like, as a kid, when I first saw that movie, going down into that spooky library. First of all libraries were spooky. I was not a reader when I was younger. But, like, she'd go downstairs, and then they'd make a mess, and then whatever attacked her, I just remember vaguely thinking, oh no. Well, she died. She's no longer with us. That old lady was killed by something.
I thought, no human beings would stack books that way.
It's going to be so hard not to quote the movie while we talk about the movie. Like, oh my gosh. I'd like to think that Peter Venkman is exactly how I would act if somebody took me on a ghost hunting adventure. Because all those ghost hunting TV shows, it's just like, quiet. Did you hear that? Did you see that? What does this mean? That voice said this. And a lot of the times I'm just like, no to all of that. They didn't do any of those things.
Yeah.
You are clearly hearing things.
You know, I actually really applauded the movie in the sense of I don't know if most of the movie was practical effects or special effects, but they did a great job for the year that movie was made.
I think it was mostly. I think they tried to do some CGI, like with Slimer, but it just wasn't there technology wise.
Did they have CGI?
Especially,
I don't think they have CGI back then.
They definitely did something with Dana Barrick's apartment when the clouds are starting to come over it and there's lightning and everything like that. That's at least some version of animation. I don't know if it's CGI, but I mean colored in at least.
Painting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 1984, so they have the computers to do that.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly just special effects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, like, I also, now that I'm old enough, just to bring it back around to the beginning, Peter's kind of a creep.
Yeah.
I don't think I recognized that when I was younger. I just always thought he was funny. But He's kind of a creep. He's not the creepiest creep I've ever seen. I feel like he's pushing those boundaries, you know?
Yeah.
Like, any second now. I was actually nervous watching the movie when I was an adult because I was just like, oh, please don't get worse. Because I don't remember you being a creep at all. Don't get worse.
I like
And
her.
he just kept just barely not being.
Almost crossing that line.
Yeah.
But never quite did.
Her world is, like, it's better than the worst. Like, there's Rick Moranis, and then there's also this guy.
Which I completely forgot was in these movies.
Rick Moranis?
Yeah.
Phenomenal actor. I freaking love every single scene that he's in.
He's been in my childhood so much, just from, like, movies that, like, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Little Giants. He's just always been there.
Oh, yeah.
He's always been in those like super family friendly movies.
Yeah.
And I completely forgot. He, by the way, did a bang up job. Little piece of trivia: when he was mingling with the party guests, the scene was one continuous shot and was entirely improvised. Actually, most of the movie, it says here, almost none of the scenes were filmed as scripted. Most were ad libbed. All of Bill Murray's lines were ad libbed.
Yeah,
he didn't go off the script at all.
I don't think he took the movie very seriously at all, actually. I remember listening to something where he was just like, Bill Murray didn't like the movie till the end of the movie, and he realized he had the best part.
Yeah.
Like, I hear that's how it is for most of his movies, but, like, that's how it was for Ghostbusters.
I want to imagine they handed him the script and then he just, in the same motion, just threw it away.
Gonna do what I want.
Yeah. But, I mean, he was... God, how many years was that after his, like, SNL stuff?
Oh, I don't even know.
Because he was on a roll back then. Groundhog Day, Ghostbusters. He was in...
Scrooged.
Yeah.
I don't know if those are all right.
Stripes.
Stripes, yes.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Do you know they had Jim Belushi for Peter's part?
Oh, yeah, they were supposed to have Jim Belushi.
They actually had Eddie Murphy for Zedmore.
I'm actually glad none of those worked out.
Eddie Murphy might not have done a bad job.
Jim Belushi.
No.
That
Jim
would've been
Belushi,
great.
I find...
Have you seen the Blues
Okay.
Brothers? That's
I
the
haven't.
best movie in the world. And
I
he's
may
like
like Jim Belushi in the Blues Brothers,
He's like the
but, like,
best part of that movie.
And this was like the 80s, so this was Eddie Murphy's like Coming to America, like all those good Eddie Murphy movies.
Mm-hmm.
So if he was to be in a Ghostbusters movie, it should have been the 80s ones, but I'm glad he wasn't. It worked out. It worked out better.
I
feel.
agree. Because I don't generally find Jim Belushi all that funny. I think they made Slimer after Jim Belushi, which I can't tell if that was it. I know that was meant to be a tribute, but like... I don't know if that's the greatest tribute, because Slimer looks like a piece of snot that somebody just threw.
And that's what everyone felt about Jim Belushi. You're like,
Jim.
he's here, but he's funny, but, you know, he's kind of gross and toxic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, good for Stans. What's his name? Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
He
Nailed
ran
it.
up Blues Brothers, he ran up such... It's like, I think it's almost one of the... It's probably... I don't know if it is the most expensive comedy of all time. It definitely seems like it is, because if you've seen the finale of Blues Brothers, I'm like, that is a lot of money.
It does say
I'll
that
have to check that out.
Ghostbusters was the highest grossing comedy of all time until Home Alone in 1990.
Good. Deserved it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was...
I still think it's better than Home Alone. And I think that kid learned all the wrong lessons, because all those things would murder all grown-ups. His traps in that house, but that's a whole different topic. We can go off of that later. But like,
That's true.
I do really appreciate how Peter sees opportunities, though. The guy, you can't shoot him down. And I do, you see that with the way he talks about women, yes, but like, you also see that in just like, as soon as they prove that ghosts are real, and he hits that realization, they go back to the college, and the college is just like, you guys are scam artists. Right. Peter uses his education to scam chicks, which I think is also kind of brilliant. You went to college to get just girls. That was the whole reason for his psychology degree.
Yeah.
Or doctorate.
I think him doing those experiments are like, you know what? I think my test results are always going to end up being, yeah, maybe, but, you know, so why should I
Well,
care?
maybe my theories are correct. You can keep the $5, pal. Just electrocuting these college kids and hitting on the college chicks. But no, okay, so they get kicked out of the college that they worked at. And, you know, the dean is just like, you guys are a bunch of failures. I hate you. Get off campus. And Peter, after all of that humiliation, is just like, I think we're destined to make a bunch of money. Like, who gets kicked out of their job like that? And it's just like, it's because I'm supposed to be rich, and this was our opportunity to do that.
I get. What did he say it was a second or third mortgage on
Oh, everybody has 3 mortgages now.
3 mortgages on
But at like 9.5%, you didn't even bargain with the guy. Like, granted, Peter uses other people to get to his goals, and I'll give him that too.
They got their own firehouse. Look at this cool place. I have a, go down the pole. We have a pole.
I love that. I would have probably acted the exact same way. I was just like, oh my gosh, this place is the coolest. While completely screwing up the bartering that they were trying to do. It's like, this place is a dump. I hate it. And then you've got Stance, who's this little kid who's just like, I'm getting all my stuff and we're moving in tonight. Just go buy it. I'm getting it now. And just like runs away. And they're like, I guess we're taking it. Yes.
It's an uncomfortable sleepover.
No, there were so many cobwebs everywhere.
Cobwebs, dust.
Like, it looked gross. I loved when they brought in the car for the first two.
3 homeless people and a dead body squabbled just in there somewhere.
Now, I completely forgot until rewatching it that there's a montage of the city like falling in love with them. The Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, it takes a bit.
Which I completely forgot that the city of New York loved them.
I could also I could just do a whole movie of that. I don't need a big bad or anything like that. It's just like, look at them be awesome. Yes. Yes, I love the Ghostbusters so much.
I also never noticed that it was a Hertz, the car.
The car was? Oh yeah, because they brought it. Okay, so right after you get the place to get the new car, and that's another one of my favorite scenes because like he pulls in, he's like, everybody can relax. I got the car, and how much did you pay for it? It's like, I think he said like $900.
Yeah.
It's like, but it needs new suspensions. It needs a new engine.
It needs new everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, how much is this going to cost? Like, I don't know, $10,000. I don't know. I can't remember the exact numbers he said. I didn't write it down. But like, it's just like Peter's just like, all right, well, we probably should have just bought an actual car. This is just garbage.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
but you know, he fixed it up. It looked really good. It's still one of my favorite cars to date.
Yeah, no, it was something that I've been wanting to know most of my adult life because it's the Jurassic Park car. It's a Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
I didn't know what type of car the Ghostbusters car was, but it's a hearse.
Yeah, it's a hearse.
It's a funeral car,
which is so perfect,
so fitting, fitting. Could never buy one and make myself look cool, but
No,
I could pull it off.
I feel like if you buy a Hertz and don't paint it like the Ghostbusters car, you're weird. You're a
probably
weird
a serial killer at
that
point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting one of those cars and just making the whole back like a bed.
I keep my
like that'd be such a great.
That would actually work too.
Yeah.
I would keep refrigerated real dolls in there.
Refrigerated real dolls?
Yeah, like the real girls, like the anatomically correct.
Do you have to refrigerate them?
No.
Oh.
No, you don't have to do any of those things. Chris is there to make everyone uncomfortable. That is it.
Well, it's working so far. The plan isn't even put together.
He's gonna have like the music for like ice cream trucks. People are gonna run out. It's just him and his hearse. They're gonna be like, guess what, kids?
With
dolls.
very cold, atomically correct women.
Yeah. That's weird. That makes me uncomfortable. Mission accomplished. Oh gosh, but like. Yeah, so they get it. I think
her toes are my favorite part. I tell them about stories about her body parts.
Ew, gross. Let's talk about Ghostbusters some more. So, I liked Dana. I liked Dana because Dana wasn't some dumb girl that needed rescuing. She actually, I know she needs rescuing, but I mean, she's a New York woman living off of a music career, a single bedroom apartment by herself. She doesn't have any roommates or anything like that. How are you a musician in New York by yourself? And she's in a really good part of town. So whatever kind of money she's making good money.
I'm sure she's probably like a Juilliard graduate who just, no.
She would have had
She worked
to
at the opera, right?
No, maybe,
Symphony.
I don't know.
It was something like that. But I mean, think about it though. The symphonies and the operas in New York, that's like top tier symphony.
Yeah.
Like that's where people want to go to make a career out of it, in those really high hitting cities.
It's true, but the chances of you getting those careers though, because it's so competitive.
It looks like she got it.
Yeah, and it's so like, I'm just glad they didn't make her just this dumb person.
Yeah.
She doesn't know anything about the supernatural. Fine. Nobody does. It's a waste of money for all everybody else knows. But, like, yeah. Just not the dumb, helpless girl who's always getting into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
She had a particular case that got her into trouble. But even that was, like, even beyond the Ghostbusters scope of comprehension.
I want to see this 20s cult who made this building. All right, see, we're going to bring ghosts into the world.
Like,
you're gonna bring us.
How do you sell that to like the people? No, I need the building to not go straight up like in a line. It needs to go diagonally, and I need a bed here and statues there.
You know the Babylonians? They used to worship him.
I'd watch a prequel. It'd probably really gross because I think they talked about all the weird cult sacrifices and experimentations they did on people. Seems really dark. I changed my mind. I talked myself out of it. I wouldn't watch it. It would just make me sad. Be like the Saw movies. But, like, no puzzles.
Bee's knees!
Yeah, I was about to say.
Dying in the 40s.
There would be no mystery
to it. They talked like Chris, the bee's knees. I think it would actually be kind of a fun, maybe Shyamalanian kind of twist if you did make a 40s movie like that. And then at the end, you realize it's Evil Shandor. Like, you don't promote it as a Ghostbusters movie at all, and you don't make mention of anything until, like, the end of the movie. And then you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm in the Ghostbusters world right now. That's this guy. And then it'll blow your mind, and then it'll be over.
Did you two like the second one more than the first one?
No.
The second Ghostbusters?
I haven't seen the second one.
We won't talk about the second one, then.
But did you like it
We'll watch... I wouldn't say I liked it better, but it's supposedly the worst one, but I honestly enjoyed the heck out of it. I enjoyed it for much different reasons.
There were only two,
but
though.
There's, unless you count 2016,
I don't.
which we should try
There's
and watch
2021s.
No, I would rather watch the Paul Rudd one than the...
Well, yeah, everybody would. The 2016 one was a complete flop, and it deserved to be a flop.
You
but
can't make me watch this.
I can't.
we should watch it for the podcast.
I
Cool.
never watched
You should watch it.
I did.
And then just talk. Oh, why?
He's the only
you
one
want to
who
watch it
did.
again?
No, but I don't remember much of it. It's
That's fair.
not good.
Yeah.
Is it like if there was a PG Bridesmaids?
I think they tried to. A lot of the jokes were just lowbrow and just didn't really land, and everybody was trying to compete to be the Peter Venkman spot, which doesn't help.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why, too, because, like, Stance, Peter, Egon, and Winston work well together because they commit to their parts. Like, you've got the heart, you've got the mouth, you've got the brains, and you got the guy who's just like, this stuff is weird. The grounded guy who they need. I like having that contrast there because they act like all of this is normal. And I like that Winston's there to be like, you know it's not, right? You know what we're doing right now, that's not a real normal thing, and you should feel weird about it.
Yeah, and, you know, all of like, that whole cast of all four of them came from SNL. So, like, that I understand them trying to compete for that spot, but I think a lot of the problem was the writing. Because, you know, Kate McKinnon and all of them, they're funny on their own. You know,
they just weren't willing to share the spotlight.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it had to do with...
I can't remember if I like Bridesmaids or not. I guess the fact that I don't remember it probably answers my question.
I think a lot of it had to do with
the main character.
Sure. Well, there wasn't very much writing. What was it?
Kristen Wiig? Yeah.
Kristen was the main character, because I did not like her. She was the worst.
I actually thought she might be a good
person.
fit. She seemed like that kind of woman who has that kind of dry humor.
Well,
Same with
her character in Bridesmaids. I mean, not as yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like.
Then that's fair. I just they want. It's not the movie we're talking about. So back to the good one. So I liked the villain. I liked how creepy the villain was and how they brought up the mystery so early on. But also, like, as somebody, I'm watching this and, I saw something in my fridge. My eggs cooked itself. All my groceries are gone. Like, because she had to leave it when she ran away.
Next to the Stay Puffed Marshmallows.
Yeah. I just think it's kind of funny because shortly after that, they find Slimer. And that's probably one of my favorite scenes. I love watching those guys go through the house or go through the hotel.
The hotel, yeah, that was really enjoyable.
I liked Egon ran into one of the customers there and just pokes him.
I'm just
just to make sure, just that poke.
I'm just a sucker for a scene where it's set up very intricately. Only being made to be destroyed. I am such a sucker for those.
I just think that in Egon's mind, it's like, subject is corporeal.
As he's poking most likely human. Maybe even scans him one more time. Definitely human. Poke. Okay, human. And I liked how everybody reacted. It's like, what are you supposed to be? One of those cosmonauts? And he's like, oh no, we're exterminators. Someone saw a cockroach on the 4th floor.
And it almost seemed like when they caught Slimer and went to the concierge, the guy who was like freaking out that the ghost was there, it seems like they just made up the bill.
Oh, they 100% did. Like, Egon he holds up 4 fingers to be like $4,000.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I didn't notice that.
It's real subtle, but as he's going into it, it's like for entrapment of the beast, and that's only going to cost $4,000.
God, I love that part so much because like half of me thinks if I was in that scenario, I would have been like, well, shit. I could have asked for more.
It's a New York hotel. You can ask for anything.
Exactly.
Well, there's no competition for them anyway.
Yeah, they had the monopoly on
they
Capture.
They did threaten to let it back in.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. They did.
They're just like, oh, that's fine. We can just go. No, fine. I'll give you $1 million. Just get it and get out. Like. It's so easy for them to just.
I would just sneak in there at night and just release a couple more ghosts. That's a cash cow.
That'll probably become illegal.
Probably immoral.
And they're not the worst. Though I do like Peter's line in the middle of the montage. He goes, "Day or night, 24/7. No ghost is too big. No fee is too big." And then it just immediately goes on, but it just skims over the fact that he's just like, "I will take all of your money." Like, there's not a number that is big enough for me.
I mean, their stuff's probably expensive.
Oh, for sure.
I do like in the video game they do the expense counter for the stuff you destroy. Yeah.
Oh, I love the video game so much.
You have to pay for it.
Yeah, it shows all the damage you do because they are not accurate looking. They're not accurate weapons.
No,
it's not like a rifle where you can just set aim and shoot. This beam flails all over the place like a wacky inflatable arm man.
Yeah, and like it's not one of those things where when they shoot the ghost, they're not like aiming down the sights or the crosshairs. It's almost hit fire. They don't care.
Well, it's kind of more like a shotgun blast they're doing.
Yeah.
Like. But what I'm saying is that it's not the most accurate.
Nah.
And they're not shooting at the most accurate.
Well, they're also not the most athletic or anything. These aren't people who like grew up loving PE. It's just, maybe Peter, but
just
like
flailing a rope at it, so it'll eventually hit it. And
so their dexterity, agility, accuracy. These are like tubby men who get tired out real quick. But like the other things that I really like, I'm just a broken record. So much of my favorite scenes, but like I love when they go into the elevator for the first time. And they're like, we haven't really even successfully tested out one of these machines. Egon's like, I blame myself, and Yeah, so do I. Peter's like more than happy to be like, yeah, this is absolutely your fault. And they switch stance on for the first time, and they both try to back up as much as they can inside this tiny elevator, and it's perfect.
An unlicensed nuclear
Accelerator on their back.
That is that can't be legal, but whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, they were one of these people who were just like, I'm going to start a business. And I'll figure it out as I go. They bought all the stuff. They didn't look into what they needed as far as permits or anything like that. They just did it.
Do they... Sorry, go on, Chris.
Oh, I was like, I do like they have the technology of a little nuclear battery, which, I don't know if that's legalized.
No.
No?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you have the technology to make a battery that can last millions of years, because I think he does say something like that in the second movie, like maybe also sell a mini one of those, maybe we could get rid of like
that's like having
other
the
power
reactor
source. Yeah, like they blow over that piece of technology, but that's a huge find as far as technological advances go.
Probably just they could technically probably just plug in the entire building to one of those packs and they're good for life.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! I never even thought about
That's
that before.
That's the implications we have. They have this. There's larger implications, like having this power source.
Dang, dude!
But they use it to kind of do an extra dimensional. They have to have it doing nuclear type things if it's going to affect another dimension. Though.
That's fair too. Like
that's like a ton of energy, and maybe you shouldn't be shooting it around. But whatever.
We're gonna have to watch the second one.
Yeah.
And so we can talk about that.
Did they ever go into in the first movie how Venkman, Stantz, and Egon know each other?
No.
Which
I kind of like. I don't need to hear. I think they were friends in college or high school.
They were all friends when the movie started, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was. I think Peter and Stantz knew each other the longest, and they might have met Egon later on, but I don't remember anything that explicitly set up a timeline. But yeah, I love this movie so much. Like all the jokes land. I love that one where it's like, listen, do you smell that? Like that's just like why Stance?
There was one joke that I wrote down. I completely forgot the context, but I'm pretty sure it's Venkman where he's like, cats and dogs are living in harmony. It's a nightmare.
Cats and dogs living in harmony. It's an utter nightmare.
That's okay.
They're
Yeah.
in jail.
When that's when the mayor calls him. We'll get to that in just a sec.
Yeah.
So like, after they get that ghost, that's when everything really takes off for him, and that's when we get that that phenomenal little montage scene. But at the same time, I got to think that if I'm Dana, I feel like my case should have some priority to it. Like, we watched these guys catch several ghosts.
Well,
and Dana's just watching them on TV.
They
just
did.
like, well, it's quiet here at least.
They did have priority on it. They looked it up for her. They gave her the information.
They did after the montage was over. I don't know if that is implying that the montage happened and then they finally were able to find information on her, or maybe they did that in between the montage. It's not explicitly clear. I usually thought it was after they caught all those ghosts, so it's been like weeks or months later. But yeah, I mean, I know there's only so much they can do. Again, they're still in over their heads as far as, what the monster or the big bad is.
They seemed exhausted when Winston came in.
When Winston finally got aboard. Yeah, he's just like, great, you're hired. Doesn't even ask for references or anything like that.
I think he lit a cigarette at the beginning of the interview process, and it was over before half the cigarette was done.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, good.
I'm tired. Please take this. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. In the middle of the montage, I forget about this scene every single time, and it's because it's my least favorite scene in the whole movie. Stantz's blowjob in the middle of that. He gets blowjob by some ghost, or maybe it's a dream. It's not exactly clear.
I
and
don't
it's the
remember
middle of
that.
Well, it's basically from a deleted scene, but they kept it in the movie. Like, it's from a deleted scene where they, like, go in a house and something, I don't know.
And this leads me to
Go see.
the segment of the podcast that I like to call rumors, but might be facts. Potentially, I'm going to tell them to you like they're facts. Facts. So, apparently for Stans, he, like, what's his name? Dan Aykroyd. Sorry, not Stans. He's like a diehard believer in all of this supernatural stuff. Like, almost to the point of craziness. I don't know. Apparently there's a lot of rants on YouTube I've never actually looked up, but it's one of them are like, I guess, pleasure spirits, and he just needed to reference it at least once because they're out there and they needed it. And
They were underrepresented.
yeah. And I'm paraphrasing that quote, but like, and again, it may not even be real, but like, I could see Aykroyd kind of doing that, where he's just like, this is necessary. It's not. Put it in. It's my movie.
Put it in.
It's going in there.
I actually heard that the prison scene, the prison was reportedly haunted, and there were things going on that nobody could explain, and they were supposed to film 2 to 3 more scenes in there, but everybody was just like, we don't need to anymore, and they were all relieved that they just didn't have to go back there.
That would be cool if it's true. Again, we don't know. Look it up yourself. We're not Google.
Another fact, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man suit cost $20,000 each, and they had to make 3, and they were all destroyed while filming.
Neat.
Which I love. Like,
Wow.
nobody got a chance to keep on his memorabilia. They were just destroyed.
Wonder if like I could see maybe like what is it, Bill Murray? It's like, all right, good job, guys. We got one left. Well, it'll go to Dan. It is his baby. Good job, Dan. Oh, Bill, why did you light the last one on fire? I can't have it. No one can. Just
Wild card, bitches.
I do want to know how much shaving cream they had to use when the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man exploded.
Probably a lot.
That would be cool.
We'll get to that eventually.
We will.
So, where were we at? So, we get to the part where we got past the blowjob scene. Least favorite scene. Didn't need it. Bless Dan Aykroyd's heart. And then we got to when Peter finally got a date with Dana, which was, I guess good for him. And what is the next scene after that? I guess the next scene is when...
It's the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually really liked the way that those demon dogs looked.
Yeah.
Gozer and...
So
no, it's not Gozer, it's Zool, right?
yeah, that's
Zool is the dog,
yeah.
because he's the gatekeeper, the keymaster, and I can't remember what the other one was named. I don't remember them saying that one's name out loud. But, I liked the look of those dogs. The CGI and everything like that was a bit, on the edge,
Well,
which I
it's
don't mind. But
Claymation.
Was it claymation?
For sure, yeah, that's got to be claymation because again, they don't have CGI. Like, Toy Story was a breakthrough movie, and it was the first all animated, but that was like 1995. It's like 10 years later.
I guess that's fair.
So,
But yeah, I thought it looked cool, especially when it wasn't moving. You got that puppetry going and
yeah, it's
everything.
probably like
And that
puppet
that looked really well done.
claymation.
And I thought those dogs were absolutely horrifying. Especially growing up, when I was little, I saw that dog. I was like, oh, that is going to be in all of my nightmares forever, and will probably be the thing that kills me.
I love the scene of Rick Moranis just running away from it.
You're going to tell the superintendent there's not supposed to be any dogs in the building or pets in the building. Oh, jeez. I love how he always gets locked out of his room.
Yes! Yes!
And then his downfall is getting locked out of a restaurant.
The complete indifference of all the New Yorkers, too, as he's
Just
screaming there, and then finally when he's
They're like,
silent,
"Is
they're
that-
like, oh, finally.
But that's
Is that Rick Moranis?
I feel like that's the epitome of New York.
Yeah.
You
just a bunch of assholes. But yeah, just screaming, and they're like, oh, finally, the poor person's done talking. Anyway. But yeah, I liked how Rick always... I know it's not his name. What's his character's name? It's not Rick Moranis.
Tully.
Tully, that's right. I liked watching Tully try to hit on Dana.
Yeah.
Every time
Yeah.
she quietly walked down the hallway, he always knew. And he's like, oh, Dana, it was you. I thought it was the vitamin water man or whatever. Or some dumb thing like that. And
You said you left your TV on, so I turned mine on and made it louder so they wouldn't drown out the noise.
you're right. And I like that she's learned to just, like, slam the door on him. She's like, I lived with him for so long at that
such
point.
a sad man.
Yeah.
Such a sad, desperate man.
She just is like, goodbye, Tully, and just slams the door. And he's still, like, mid-sentence, but she's like, this could go on for a while, and I just don't have time for this. And, like, the third time when he does it, or the second time she does it, she's like, I'm sorry I couldn't go to your party. I have a date. She's like, you scheduled a date tonight? She's like, yes, I'm sorry. And he's like, oh, it's okay. You can bring him by, too. And he's just like, all right.
Nothing inconveniences this man.
No. And he knows all the people at his party, and he's just like, that's why I invited clients instead of friends. I could do this whole party as a tax write-off. It's like, how you doing, Frank? And he just starts talking to him. How you doing, Frank? Oh, jeez. And then, like, he got that one girl to dance with him, though. So, you know, he might have some moves that we're not seeing.
Yeah,
Just
which there was also a part where a couple walks in,
Mm-hmm.
and he takes the woman's coat, and then addresses everyone else at the party who they are and what they do, which makes me think he probably did that for everyone.
Yeah.
That's
He's got
a lot
phenomenal
of
memory.
Yeah, no, I would not be able to do that to my 5 friends that I hold dear to myself.
Yeah.
Like,
Just like,
you're like, hi, this is Ben. Hey, he's here.
No, he likes to get way too involved into people's lives.
It's true. You have seen him talk to people. He likes to know everybody, and he likes to talk. He's a chatty guy. It's just fantastic, though. I loved Possessed Tully.
Yeah.
Sitting there talking to the horse.
I liked how world-ending the big bad guy was. It wasn't some, like, you know, oh, it's like 2 levels more than Slimer that we have to get through. It was like, if we don't do this, the world will die.
Yeah.
You know? And I like that. I liked the gravity of the situation that they brought to the table.
And it slowly built throughout the movie, which I appreciated. I liked, oh my gosh, I don't think I've hated a character more than Peck.
Who was Peck?
Peck is the environmentalist that shut down the generators. Or not the generators, pretty much the prison cells that the ghosts were in.
Dude, I actually have a fun piece of trivia that you would like about him.
Yeah.
After this film, Peck became reviled as a person. People would try to fight him in bars. One day shortly after the film's released, Peck was walking down a stretch of 7th Avenue, New York City, entirely crowded with school buses when he heard lots of children screaming at the top of their lungs, "Hey, Dickless." So, people hated him even after the movie.
And that's
Poor guy.
why he wasn't in the second one.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Yeah, poor guy. Like, I don't hate the actor.
Yeah, apparently he had a really hard time after that.
Oh, man. I hate his character a lot. But at the same time, I mean, he wasn't wrong. Like,
No.
he had some pretty solid grievances. I just think he went about it in a really aggressive manner that didn't need to be the way that it was.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, I guess
we needed to hate someone.
It's true.
You know.
And I guess we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. I love it when Peter finally goes up to Dana's apartment for his date. She opens the door. Are you the keymaster? And immediately just slams it in his face when he says that. And the second time, he's just like, yes. Yes, I am. And just sees all the ectoplasm, slime all over the walls. And his internal struggle on whether or not to sleep with this woman, even though he knows she's possessed.
He was fighting.
He was
fighting that urge.
Love that struggle, which was just like, do you want this body? Is this a trick question? He's like, no, I shouldn't. It sounds like there's at least 2 people in there already. And she like grabs or nibbles his ear, and he's like, well, maybe. No, I can't. Just stop disturbing me, and I just need to talk to Dana. And then, like, the demon voice comes out, and he's like, that is a terrific singing voice you have, but I still need to talk to Dana. Like, phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love that so much. He handled that situation way cooler than I would have. If my wife was being possessed by a demon, I don't think I would have complimented its deep voice.
Yeah.
I probably would have been like, let me go find someone else to help you.
Gonna sprinkle some salt in you, and you know.
Do I need holy water for this? I don't know what to do with you. I've seen one movie.
Saw palmetto because you're allergic to the sage I try to burn over your body. So
right, Marissa is allergic to sage, so like they would need to find new ways to exorcise that demon.
Like what? It's like a priest telling the priest your dietary things. You can't. Do they have any allergies?
Yeah, right. The priest has to actually say all of the dietary stuff first. She is allergic to sage. Oh, well, she's possessed forever. May God have mercy on your soul.
Well, no, that's why they have alternatives like saw palmetto.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah.
That is good news. Now, as far as marriage vows, does demons count as sickness and health? Because did they count as the sickness health part? Or is that like, well, that's a breach of a contract?
If they turn into a demon or if they do get possessed, I would say yes. But if you're marrying a demon...
If their consciousness is gone.
Consciousness is gone. Cool. I know it's a technicality at this point, and we're, it's just like, I was just wondering.
Are you asking this for, like, future for yourself?
I mean, if she's ever possessed by a demon that we can't get out, yeah, it might be time to find someone else. I love her to death, but I mean, if she's an evil demon that might murder me, I do see that as a break of the marriage contract.
Start scurrying like a bug on the ceiling.
Yeah, not into it. Not
some papers.
I have some
down,
papers.
dear.
Please lick them, sign them. You need to make a mark so that I can give them to Lily.
I can imagine like just us hanging out at night and we're just watching like, I don't know, like an episode of Buffy and you're like, well, I think I'm going to go to bed. And we just see Marissa scurry across the ceiling and you're like, I can do one more episode.
I can do another one. In fact, why don't we go someplace else? Is there a hotel we can go to? And just, yeah. No, can't do demon. So yeah, Peter handled it way better than I would. Which, good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's very desensitized by this point.
That's fair. When you've got technology to can help fight it.
After you've seen, like, I don't know, dozens of ghosts that have, jump scared you 1,000 times, you're not jump scaring anymore. Like, this isn't even a jump scare. This is, like, in front of him. I see it.
Thanks for getting closer for my shot. Yeah, that is very, very true. This probably isn't his first even exorcism that he needs to do. But I do like when the police shows up at the, what's it called? The Ghostbuster headquarters. The woman answers and it's just like, dropping off or picking up. It's like, dropping off. Hold, please. And just closes the door. And he's just like, crazy people won't take him. I can't take him to jail. I thought this might be up your alley. And Egon's like, yeah, bring him inside immediately. And I just like how cavalier he is. You could tell, I think you're right. They're just desensitized by that. And that one secretary is still hitting on him.
Possessed.
He's like,
bring him inside.
Just go ahead. You were so kind to take in that man. I don't think he's human. It's just every chance she gets to try to hit on him, and he immediately thwarts it. Like, I think that I really love reading. I'm a super big intellectual. What are your hobbies? Collect molds, spores, and fungus.
We're going to get married.
Yeah. She's like, that's great. I don't know how to build on that. I don't know how to continue this conversation.
Oh, do you like some amoxicillin? How they get that from the fungi?
Yeah, there've been plenty of moments in life where I'm just like, oh, cool. I don't know how to talk to you.
Yeah. We may not be compatible.
I think it's from the mold. Actually, did it. That's how they made the penicillin. Is from the mold.
I mean, if she was able to even continue the conversation that way, I would be done. I'd been like, good on you, man. I'm going to go elsewhere. Like, that would have closed it for me. But,
have you heard of amoxicillin?
I've not. But, like, I love, yeah, and they're doing all those projects on him and find out he's possessed. I like that the hat that they put on Dana at the beginning, they put it on Tully, and you can actually see the demon on the screen at that point. So I thought that was cool. Wouldn't mind having that kind of technology. I would try it on everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, your new friend? Sit down right here. Like, I'm going to...
Oh, is this your new VR headset? Yeah! Yes, it is!
New VR headset. That's exactly what it is. But the Twinkie scene was also really good. It's like, it's getting really crowded in there. And he's trying to explain to... compare the crowdness of everything in there. He's just like, imagine this is the normal amount of ghosts in the city. Imagine something 3 times this big and it's about to burst or something like that. And they're like, oof, that's a big Twinkie.
Yeah, that was a bad idea to shut that off.
Yeah, they do address how, why is our job necessary now?
Right. Because it's like, well, have ghosts always been here, or is there something building to this? Like when Peter gets back after knocking Dana out with 3 cc's of what? What did he knock her out with again? I think it's weird that he had something on hand to knock her out.
Was it diazepam?
I might have been.
I don't know.
But like, where would you normally get something like that? Is that just a normal sleep medicine?
Diazepam's that's Valium. No, they have that in hospitals. You can steal. You might be able to steal it off of an ambulance.
I think it's really suspect that he had that just on hand.
Nah, that's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Isn't he a doctor? Aren't they doctors?
Supposedly.
Can they write themselves prescriptions?
I don't think they're those kind of
doctors. Better. I don't think that's better. So, like, knocks her out, goes back, and I like how concerned he gets when they're like, tell him about the Twinkie. And he's like, what about the Twinkie? What is happening? But yeah, then it explodes and, causes all sorts of havoc. Ghosts get everywhere. I like the ghost montage, too.
Yeah.
Watching the destruction with all the ghosts. I don't know what I would do in that situation. It's just like, there's too many ghosts.
Another day in New York.
Oh, no. Well, I like the taxi ghost. Or it's just like, I wonder if that's just normal. I don't know if that was suspicious for people at all. He just got into this haunted taxi and then drives like a maniac.
He's looking pretty haggard, but I gotta go get up to 22nd.
And I think he did. I think the guy got him there.
Didn't he wreck the car?
No, he does this crazy U-turn and drives off.
Oh.
And I'm going to hope that he got home safely.
Okay.
If not a little traumatized. That or that was the taxi that just drives you the highway to hell.
I hope that's blasting if that exists in that. I don't know what AC/DC.
It would be rude not to at that point. Yeah. But I do find it weird that she's like, yeah, it's a sign, all right. Sign we're going out of business. And I was like, is that a sign you're going out of business? The government released all the ghosts. I think that's a sign you're just about to get busy again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more business.
Yeah.
Than you wanted.
Yeah, do you think there's a busy season for Ghostbuster? You think it just happens all the time?
I think Christmas and Halloween.
Actually, Halloween would probably be an off day.
It might
because
be.
Isn't that
Buffy
when ghosts
rules.
and all them just kind of take a break?
I know that's what it was in Buffy.
The same Buffy.
I don't know if that is
true across the board.
Yeah.
Like, what
That's
if,
fair.
like, the ghost of Christmas Past comes and visits Donald Trump on Christmas? That's something that could happen.
Ooh.
That's what they're at the Ghost Bust. That's what their busy season is. Like, I need you to get rid of these ghosts. They are pestering me.
They're pestering me.
They are
It's
being
awful.
so annoying. Like, they're like, oh, look at your future. You're fat and depressed and me.
It's like, Mr. President, that is Ted Cruz, and the Ghostbusters still cannot do anything with that.
I do like the idea of... Wait, yeah, Trump is still there.
Yeah. No, he definitely exists somewhere in that universe. He's just not president yet.
Yeah.
But, like, I do like them going to there. The crowds are all cheering for him. They've got some recognition now. And one of the first things that they do is they have to go up the stairs. And it kills them. They are just like, what floor are we on? how many more floors do we go? That's great. I think I'm just going to throw up. I'll just puke right here. And then we get to the finale. And I enjoy the finale because they're just making it up as they go.
Yeah.
They have no idea how to handle this situation. Like, Stance, I think, is the best example of that, where they're like, get him, Ray! All right. Gozar the Gozerian, I'm going to have you leave this dimension and go back to the next dimension, or whatever dimension you want to go to. Good one, Ray. Thank you. Just like, awesome. We're dead. Like, and he's so proud of himself. He's like, that was official sounding, and I did it. And that, are you a god? No. And how upset they got after the end of that as she force lightnings them out of there. And it's just like, no, if someone asks if you're a god, you say yes. It's like, so great. So many good lines. But yeah, I liked how, like, oh, well, we're screwed. And then they tried to zap her. That didn't work. And they immediately just gave up after that.
Yeah, if that's your only line of defense and it doesn't work, you have to back out. And think of something else.
So they're just like, oh, okay, so we choose the form of the Destructor, which I honestly did not get that's what she was saying. Like, Peter says that, yeah, you choose, and he's like, oh, I get it, so whatever we think of, that's what's going to come over and destroy us, so empty your heads. And I'm like, I don't remember her saying
Were
that.
they?
But like
Did they do
anything,
that research earlier?
Maybe, but that's not what they made it sound like. It wasn't like, oh, I remember this from research, because they didn't do that kind of research for it. It was just like, oh, I get it, you're tricky, I understand. Whatever we think of, that's what's going to attack us. And I'm just like, that seems like a giant leap.
But it no matter what they thought of, though, it would have been like 80 feet tall anyways.
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't just Stance's fault.
He didn't.
I love his reaction. He's like, they said empty your mind. And there it was. The Marshmallow Man.
It just popped in there. Could have been worse. Could have been like Godzilla or something.
They were actually going to have the Marshmallow Man come out of the water next to the Statue of Liberty, but it was way too hard to film.
That's fair.
So
that's good.
they
I
didn't
wonder
do it.
where it came out of instead.
It materialized.
Yeah,
Just
that's what I'm
materialized.
thinking. Or like one of those like strikes of lightning, like a Terminator entrance, and then he's just there,
and just rises.
crouched on one knee,
Yeah.
like Terminator rises up. Oh my god!
Can you imagine if, like, because I would imagine it'd be like an NPC that just spawns next to you when you're playing a video game.
Oh god!
Yeah, can you just imagine just walking and then a Marshmallow Man just stomps on you or is right next to you?
Yeah.
I don't think I fully understand.
I
what
actually
just happened.
really enjoyed that final sequence.
Can I eat it?
I would be very curious about that too. If I could just eat it. I may have tried to just kamikaze jump into its mouth and try to eat it.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
fair.
I'll try to get to its leg first. Maybe it's closer.
That might have been more intelligent. I don't handle pressure well. I crumble under pressure. But yeah.
I don't think he ate anyone.
No. He crushed a church. He probably stepped on a lot of people.
Yeah.
But that is it. Other than that, I do like... they did kind of hint at earlier in the episode what their way out was going to be, and they crossed all the streams, which was super dramatic and intense, blowing everything up. And everybody else is covered in marshmallow except for Peter. Peter is fine. He's alright.
Yeah.
No problems at all. And as they're clawing Dana out of that dog, I like that Tully's just like, everyone turned out the lights, and he's just like panicking over there in the corner.
As Tully does.
Yeah. And so there is something I didn't understand when I was little, but like the way that they got that portal open is her and Tully totally had sex.
Well, they had to.
Yeah.
I did not get that.
But that was when they were in their possessed forms, though.
Yeah. No, I totally get
Like,
that.
they won't
part.
remember.
But I do know there was and it wasn't until I saw a deleted scene that it really hit me, where it was Tully, and he's like, did we just... And she's like, oh, Tully, no. No.
Wait till I tell everyone on my floor about this.
Right. No. But, I mean, That's definitely kind of a form of rape, isn't it? Being possessed and then
Yeah, but
having
the demons,
sex?
I
the
don't
demons are doing the rape.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not... I'm not blaming that on Tully at
It's
all.
arguable.
Tully is also a victim in that as well, whether he enjoyed it or not.
It's
definitely
arguable that another consciousness possessing your mind is also a form of rape.
Yeah, so they're probably double raped.
There's some spiritual Me Too movement going on in that movie.
Like, there's not really anything anybody can do about it. They did wipe out those spirits, so I guess justice was done. But like,
With a
hopefully
question
they're
mark,
just
for sure.
yeah.
No one remembered.
I'm hoping that's what it is.
He's not going to have any STDs. She's fine.
There were no consequences.
No consequences.
But
There are a couple things of trivia I want to read off to you guys, just because I thought they were super interesting.
cool. So we're gonna call this part trivia from Eric.
Trivia, we couldn't fit into the regular podcast, so we're just going to dump it till the end.
Trivia.
According to the director and Harold Ramis, in the DVD commentary, Dan Aykroyd's original rough draft of the movie, the story was going to take place in the future, and teams of Ghostbusters would exist everywhere, like paramedics and firefighters, thus basing the Ghostbusters HQ in a firehouse. According to the director, such a film would cost at least $300 million in 1984, so Harold Ramis was brought in to rewrite the entire theme.
Good, because I honestly hate that idea. I hate that idea a lot.
Yeah.
I
John
do
Belushi
not want that.
and it'd be John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd in
Yeah, there would have been a lot of
time travel.
Yeah.
Time travel
Oh.
stuff.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely horrendous. I hate it.
The rooftop set for the final confrontation between Gozer and the Ghostbusters occupied an entire soundstage and required over 50,000 amps of electricity to be properly lit. Columbia Pictures had to shut down 6+ stages while this scene was being filmed.
Good. Those stages. If it's not Ghostbusters, you don't have any reason to be there.
That's crazy, though.
That's a lot.
That's an insane amount of stages to just, all right, we need to move all this power to this. That's crazy lighting.
Yeah.
And that's just for lighting. That was insane.
Good. I take all the stages to make more Ghostbuster movies.
No. There was it was a great idea because it turned out, and it worked phenomenally.
Yeah.
This one I actually thought was pretty funny. Scenes in the montage, the one that we were talking about, of the Ghostbusters running around and driving ectoplasm around New York, were done in the first day, all without film permits. In one scene, a cop is chasing them. He was a real cop. it was because they had no permits at all.
I've heard that was exactly how they did some of their advertisement. They just run around in their Ghostbuster gear and slap a Ghostbuster sticker on there. And
Yeah.
Ghostbusters!
Yeah,
and then
apparently Dan Aykroyd got in a lot of trouble for that.
Worth it.
Oh, totally worth it. He made his money back in tickets.
Yeah. It's just like...
So-
It's easily my top 5 favorite movie in the entire world. I love Ghostbusters so freaking much. And I cannot say enough good things about this.
It is a movie that I could watch.
Did we talk about how he
time.
could have taken down Casper's uncles?
Oh gosh, that Casper scene.
Oh, Stretch, Fatso, and Stinky.
You know, like that's a Slimer level boss.
Not
That's-
even.
not
Like,
even.
I agree.
They-
That's a class 2 floating phantasm if I've ever seen one.
Which, by the way, that movie holds up as an adult. It's actually pretty
Casper?
funny. It's pretty funny, yeah. Because there's a lot of jokes that we missed.
Yeah.
haven't seen it
A
in
ton
forever.
of jokes that we missed.
I haven't watched it in forever. I just specifically remember that Ghostbuster scene and don't like that scene. Because
Yeah.
Stance could take on all those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might need help. I'll give them that they're pesky poltergeists for sure. But nothing that they haven't handled before.
Yeah, this is true.
But, I mean, as a throwaway joke gag, it's fine. It just opens up a lot more can of worms if you think about that for too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's just implying Ghostbusters exists in the Casper world, which doesn't bode well. But also, all the ghosts in Ghostbusters are bad guys. So if there's ghosts like Casper out there, that also opens up a whole other can of worms for the Ghostbusters too. Because like,
Morally, do we
do we have
capture
the
him or do
rights
we?
to-
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
Like, or am I just capturing some grandma? So I like to think that the ghosts in the Ghostbusters
Hashtag
universe deserve
defund the
that.
Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters.
No. No.
What they're doing is ethically and morally wrong.
Yeah, well, look
to
what
those
happened.
afterlife beings of an afterlife.
The GLM would definitely exist. Ghost Life Matters.
Yeah, Ghost.
Isn't defunding the Ghostbusters technically what happened when they shut down the generators?
Yeah.
And tried to take everything away?
It's not really getting great funding. It's more of, I need to keep you guys up to code. And
He wanted to take everything away. He used that as an excuse to get inside and take everything away.
Oh, we did skim over the part where they did talk about like the stuff at the mayor's office, and that's when they were just like, biblical stuff. What are you talking about? We're talking about real wrath of God stuff, Mayor. We've got fire and brimstone. We've got earthquakes and blood coming from in the ocean. And then that's when Peter
The
is
dogs
just
and
like,
cats one. That's
cats
right.
and dogs living together, mass hysteria. Like, fantastic. Not helping at all. And I love that when he was just like, everything was going great until Dickless here shut off the generator. And he's like, is any of this true? And Peter's just like, it's true. This man has no dick. And then, as they're trying to fight and they're pulling each other away, you hear Peter's just like, well, that's what I heard. Like, it's just, why are you here, Peter? Like, if you're not going to help us not go to jail.
That's called trolling.
The original troll. What if you're wrong? If we're wrong, it's fine. We'll go to jail. We'll enjoy it. But if we're right, he does know how to talk to people, because that's when he brought in, you would have saved the lives of thousands and millions of voters. And that did get him reelected. So, I mean, yeah.
500 gallons of shaving cream. I found it.
Gross.
That's how much they had to use for that for when he exploded. That's a lot of shaving cream. You don't even buy them by the gallon.
Like, I guess that's technically better than marshmallow.
Well, that would have been impossible.
For
to just spread everywhere.
Also, just like the amount of bugs. Yeah, that would have caused.
With shaving cream, you can at least like spray someone with it. Marshmallow fluff is too thick. I would feel you would need something to smear it on.
I also was not satisfied with the amount of pain that Peck went through, which was the nun. He got marshmallow. He got doused with marshmallow and screamed at the end of the movie. That wasn't satisfying to me.
I mean,
I wanted him to get like smushed or lose his job or whatever.
He's not really a bad guy, though.
He's a prick, and he knows what he's doing.
He wasn't a bad guy, but he was the bad guy of the movie, which was enough.
He was a dick. Like, he didn't have to do what he did. He didn't have. He just
that's the
went in
environmental
there.
guy, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he was an anti-hero. Let's call him an anti-hero.
No, you're probably right. He wasn't a bad guy. I just hate him.
Like, an anti-hero is like it's like a, you know how an anti-villain is wait. I'm thinking of anti-villain. He's an anti-villain.
We should. Okay, so I think that's it. I think we've wrapped it all up. I would love to do we need to do 2, but I would love a spin-off series of Ghostbusters versus like Cthulhu.
Ooh,
most of like the monsters that I see in other movies. Like, I'd love if the Ghostbusters was in Ash versus Evil Dead.
That'd be cool.
Or Buffy, and just, I don't even need them to be canon. I would just love to watch the Ghostbusters in those situations and see how they overcome them.
What Lego Dimensions is.
I don't want to watch Lego Dimensions.
It's a game.
I don't want to play Lego Dimensions.
But
I'm a huge fan of those Lego games.
Smushes them all.
Yeah, in the most Lego-y kid way ever. And I don't care about any of that. That's boring.
Okay.
All right, so we'll wrap this up. Do we have wrap-up music?
I can find some.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll end it on that note. And
so yeah, an anti-villain is. So an anti-hero is like Deadpool, where he's a good guy, but he does bad things. But an anti-villain is it's a bad guy, but he does good things. He's technically supposed to do his job, but he's working against the interests of the protagonist.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that.
That's probably accurate.
It's all love.
Man, I am starving. We gotta go get some food. All right. Well,
I
this
ate
is
a lot.
Ben, Chris, and Eric's not here either. Signing off. Join us next time, or don't. It doesn't matter. We'll probably make another one either way. And yeah, have a good one.